Hello everybody, I'm here again at UKGE 2025, this time with Valdemar from Phalanx Games.
Hello everyone.
And we're going to be having a look at some of what you've brought to the show and possibly talk a bit about some of the upcoming bits and pieces. But we have to start off with the spectacular Sutton Whohelm here, which is part of Bretwalda. So do you want to tell us a bit about what's going on here? Because this was one we played the prototype of a couple of years ago now.
Yeah, and finally this is a production copy. So you can see it's much better than the prototype we played. The objective of the game is still the same. You want to become the Bretwalda.
Yep.
How do you do it? You are one of the Wessex kingdoms. You choose your gender, whether it is a king or queen. Mm-hmm. Each of the kings or queens has a specific characteristics and powers, so no one's alike. The game is played in seasons. You start in spring, then there is a summer. In summer, the Danes arrive.
Yes.
So there is a hot summer in the north currently here. Then there is the autumn. In autumn, you can bribe those neutrals and tell them where to go and where to stab somebody's back. And then there is a winter. Winter is coming. You always remember this one because in winter you need to feed your units, otherwise they are gone from the table.
Yeah.
It happened many times here.
Oh, I imagine so. We had a lot of fun with it, partly because you didn't know where the Danes were coming, and sometimes somebody would be very aggressive. They would push quite far inland and leave their coastal areas undefended. The Danes arrived, and all of a sudden everything's in flames.
That's why you should remember about two things, winter and Danes. But fortunately, you can also develop your kingdom. So it's a little bit of civilization aspect of the game. So everybody starts poorly enough, but you can choose your path, whether you want to have a better economy, better army, better mobilization in the long term. And you can also build some nice little buildings here. So you can have abbeys, you can have granaries, you can have ports, or you can have meat halls.
I mean, meat halls do sound great, but granaries, you have to be able to feed your populace and feed that army. Otherwise, as Napoleon said, army marches on its belly. So you can run into a lot of problems if you don't. So this is a big, spectacular game, absolutely beautiful. But you have quite a few smaller games, sort of more manageable for a standard coffee table and maybe play a bit faster as well. So we've got one here, the English Civil War.
Yeah, it's English Civil War. It's a very civil waste by Fred Serval. It's also it's the final production copy, so we are picking it up from the factory. Mm-hmm. This is a trick-taking game. That's why the waste. So you're playing these very thematic cards.
Yeah.
So first you have to fight for the tricks, and then use them to perform actions to move your generals around the country. Mm-hmm. And there are several tracks where you are competing on. And if you are good with, let's say, a foreign support, the one who is advancing there decides which color is the trump. For the round, the game lasts 4 rounds. Both sides can win. There are also random events, like the one that we discussed yesterday. Well, the execution, yeah. So it's the king versus the parliament, and it's playable, let's say, half an hour in most. Yeah. So, and the game's always very tight. You never know who's going to win until the last round.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that this shows off is Phalanx always do a very impressive job of theming the art style and the actual production to the game. So Bretwalda has a very lavish Book of Kells-like sort of manuscript feel to it. All of that.
Pieces are inspired by the Lewis chess.
Yeah. And then when you look at the English Civil War, the card deck in here is almost like woodcut or copperplate printing. So it's one of the nice touches that we often see with your games, is you take that extra care and attention to really theme them to a specific style and genre.
we like to treat our games as a time machine, so you can jump into a certain period of time. Yeah, so it's the 8th century in Bretwalda, or the 17th century with Aversive East, or you can go to the ancient world with Punica. Now, this is a game we call it an experiment because this is a 15 minutes game on the Punic Wars. Unlike Hannibal, it takes hours to play, this is a very tense game. Easy to play, only 7 cards, not so many units around, but still the same strategic decisions. Yeah, do I want to invade Italy from the sea, or do I want to go around to the Alps? Same with the Romans. Should they learn how to sail and go directly to Africa, or should they first start defending their lands and use their overwhelming power of having one more unit than the enemy, which is in this game it is a lot.
Yeah.
And we have artwork by Miko, so it's more appealing to the general public. As you can see, it was played almost all the time during the show.
Yeah. Well, this was one of the eye-catching things because, like you say, you do have Hannibal, and it gets into the greater strategic depth of the Punic Wars, but it is a very long play game. This, with that art style as well, it's very attractive, eye-catching for people who may not think of themselves as historic gamers and board gamers yet. Exactly. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. Being able to play out part of the Punic Wars, I'm assuming it doesn't play all of the Punic Wars. Is it specifically then the third?
It depends on the situation, because both parties start more like the situation before the first Punic War.
Okay.
But then there is no winning strategy in the game. At least we don't know it yet. We try to avoid it. So depending on your choices, it will end up to be the first, the second, or the third Punic War if Rome invades and destroys the Carthage, which is one of the winning conditions. Of course, you can also be at the portas of Rome as well. Yeah. And to get more into history, we have created a comic book. If you know nothing about the Punic Wars, here is a short history, using the illustrations from our original Hannibal. Yeah. So,
I mean, that's stunning in itself. And like I say, for people who aren't historic gamers yet, it's a great way of pulling them in there, especially young kids. Everybody loves a comic.
As far as I know, the time period for curriculum for this war, its school is more or less 50 minutes. So you can use it with this game, so you can learn more about it. Yeah. So you can decide, okay, if Carthage has the fleet wipe out, now it's logic that you want to pass through the Alps. Yeah.
So is Punica out now, or is it coming soon?
It will have its retail premiere in Essen, Spiel. Yeah. So it's
October then.
October then, yes.
And I do see another somewhat characterful, comic-looking piece here, which is Robin Troubles in Sherwood. Tell me about that.
It's still in a phase of a prototype, but we are playtesting this with gamers here. It's an asymmetric game about controlling the Sherwood. So one player plays the Robin Hood, and it's his merryman, and you want to develop your faction, but you want to give the money to the poor, and you want to fight the Sheriff of Nottingham, whose goal is to make sure that there are no troubles. We also have a bishop who dreams about building a big cathedral and some small inns, stables, and controlling the power, but also attracting pilgrims to visit the future place. And we also have the nobility, we call them Frenchmen, because they were Normans coming from France, and they're trying to build castles, and they have and their knights, they don't fight in, let's say, usual battles. They always want to duel. They say, "On God!"
So it's currently in playtesting, then it's going to be coming to Kickstarter later this year, or?
We plan it to crowdfund this later this year. But we wanted to hear the feedback from, let's say, some people who even live in the areas we are depicting our games, especially if most of our games now is about Britain or England. So some people say, oh, I live here, I'm from there. Yeah, so yeah, I play Wessex, I play Northumbria, I play East Anglia, I play Mercia. Yeah, so it's really nice to hear, and also some local stories and legends. And of course, I can tell you that there are more factions coming to this game as well. That it's still in development. Now it's still a secret. Yeah.
Oh, cheeky! You have to keep your eye out for that one in the future. If people come to the UKGE, where can they find you? Do you know your booth number?
No, but you should look for the big Zatu sign. We are a part of the Zatu village here.
You really can't miss them. Just walk in the front door and just walk towards the stage, and you'll see them on the way.
Yeah, we're close to the stage. Yeah.
And if you're at home, they can check out Phalanx online.
Yeah, it's Phalanx CO UK.
There you go, folks. The range of games that Phalanx have put together over the years, they really do bridge the gap from light, quick to play, but strategic games to full, a whole day's worth of gameplay, big, deep, interesting and complex strategy games that take a while to master. So there's something for everyone within that, and definitely worth checking out. I know John's desperate for his U-boat anytime now. We're going to push on and see what else is here at the Expo. Keep your eye on the live stream. Bye-bye.